And you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In 1861, the folks that looked like me got to be free for the first time in hundreds of years. It took another 5 years before some of them even knew they were free. And then it took them until 1870 to be even allowed in the process of selecting leadership in our government. In Florida, in particular, we gained 19 black elected officials out of a 76-member legislature. And we got 1 member of Congress from freedom to the Capitol. By 1876, just 6 short years later, that representation was done. Reconstruction ended. And all the progress that was made during Reconstruction was systematically taken back. Between all the Jim Crow laws and Florida's 1885 state constitution, almost every black vote was eliminated. And they went further than that, because by 1892, Florida adopted white-only primaries, which mean that only white voters, white male voters, could vote in the primaries. It took 53 years before that law would be stricken down by the Florida Supreme Court. In 1944, after the law had been stricken down, a black Jacksonville minister attempting to register was told this: "You won't go to jail, but you will be killed, because this is Florida, and we don't let N-words vote in the primaries." After that, before that, we had poll taxes. And I bring up poll taxes that were enacted in Florida in 1889 because when that tax was implemented, it affected every Floridian. It didn't just say black folks, it said everybody. This law would pertain to everybody. But here's what they understood when they implemented that law, is that they understood that it would have a disparate impact on black folks. That black folks would be barred from the polls because they would be unable to pay because they were too poor. But the same poor white folks would be given waivers, some would be paid for, and once again, blacks would be prevented from the polls. In our current election in 2020, we had unprecedented numbers of black folks participate in our elections. They use drop boxes. They use volunteers to tend to people in the lines. We use people to assist our elderly in getting their votes to the drop boxes or getting them to the polls. And now we turn around, and although our law says nothing about black folks, it says it'll apply to everyone equally, we know that it will have a disparate impact on folks like me. But it's of no surprise because that's our history. Our history has been to systematically, through subtleties that seem unevasive, exclude our most vulnerable. Exclude those who have in need the most representation. So I say to you today, we can see clearly. You uncover your eyes so you can see too, that this bill doesn't make elections better. It doesn't make elections easier. It continues a system that we have historically used to exclude. So let's stop. Let's stop today. Let's stop now. Thank you.